So I've been on a hardtail for a few days. Banshee Paradox V3. This thing shreds. So I got this last week off of Rushy's bicycle servicing, local guy here in Adelaide. He's actually the Banshee distributor in South Australia. So hit him up if you've got any questions about Banshees or any inquiries, or you're after one. Definitely hit him up. If you want a good hardtail, this thing shreds. So obviously, as you're about to find out. 29er, came as a full 29er. So it's got it decked out, it's got pikes at the front, core wheels and hubs, which seem killer, they seem strong. I think it's about a 33 internal diameter. Assegai on the front, DHR2 on the rear. This is my wheel. It had the 29er, I've been demoing it in a 27.5 as well, just the last day of the test. So wicked, 170 cranks, GX Eagle, it's dope. Alloy hardtail. Generally people are making steel hardtails in the aggressive MTB side of things. 170mm reverb, 35mm stem with a 31.8 bar for my short ass. This is actually a large bike, so he's put the shorter stem to allow me to, to ride it comfortably, more or less. So it's a 475 reach, 1227 wheelbase. I reckon I max out at about 460. I think the perfect bike for me would be a 460 with a 40mm stem. I don't think I could go any bigger than that. 455 would probably even be sweet spot. But anyway, in the full 29er, wicked, super, like heaps of momentum, super fast everywhere on flow trails. I rode it at Cobbler's Creek in a full 29er, and I rode it at Moriata in a full 29er. Cobbler's Creek, it was wicked. It was so much fun. It was basically just like having my dirt jumper with wicked brakes, wicked forks, and grip. So, and obviously much bigger. It's much bigger than my dirt jumper. Felt killer. Corners, no worries. I thought I was going to struggle with such a long bike, but it probably took me 2 runs and then I was at home. I was fine. Did a couple of helmet cams. You can see them on the first look and the ride down Northern DH on this thing. So check them out as well. What to say about it? These brakes are killer, obviously. When I rode it at Moriata the other night, Sev, don't go too far, mate. When I rode it at Moriata the other night, it was a little bit slick there, and it was quite slick actually. And Moriata's not super rough, but it has chop and it has some high speed chop. So I was intrigued to see how this thing would go, on some real bumps. Cobbler's Creek doesn't really have too much to challenge it. So I went out there and I was kind of holding on for dear life, to be honest. When you get into the rougher stuff with that 29er on the back, there's a lot of force going through my feet, and I was trying to work out what it is and whether, too much tire pressure, and played with that. Ended up with 22 and then 21 and then 20 in the back, and then I must have burped it because I dropped a heap of pressure halfway down. 20 in the back. It was still real harsh, but obviously more compliance and almost a little bit squirmish with the 29er. Didn't really like it. Didn't really like it on anything where you're tipping it in or coming into things rough, especially coming into a rough corner. Just could not hold on to it. As soon as you lean it into this corner and you got some braking bumps in it, and you're trying to create body language to corner, which the 29er front is exactly what you need. But I'm being pushed, or I'm being kicked too much, and it's just not. It's not confidence inspiring. It's not confidence inspiring at all. I've found that on most 29ers I've ridden. When I rode Andy Clark's, and I've spoken about this before, being a really small bike, that was much more able to hold on. I was more able to hold on to that and thread the needle on it. So maybe if I ride a 29er, it's got to be small. But the big, it was just too hard. And doing wheelies, it was harder to balance and things like that. Maybe an adaptation period, but as soon as I chucked the 27.5 on the back, I went out to Brownhill Creek, which has definitely got some chunder. It's not super rough, but it is rough. There's lots of hits kind of top to bottom. And my confidence straight away went through the roof. I rolled around on the street before I got to the trail, and it just felt killer straight away. The wheelies were heaps easier. Everything was heaps easier. Didn't lose any snap pedaling. What I will say is, I believe the 29er versus the mullet, 29er definitely more momentum, less confidence. 27.5 at the back, staying with the 29er in the front, A little bit less momentum, way more confidence, way more confidence. I'd probably leave a 29er on the front, to be honest. I reckon it's the perfect setup for the front of any bike. 29er at the front, but 29ers don't belong on the back. So, yeah, I won't harp on about that too much, but it felt so confident with that 27. It felt almost like a good size for me, almost like it's not too big for me. Cornering when you're climbing, no worries. I would have thought a long bike is a little bit hard to corner climbing, but it threads the needle, it's no worries. Super efficient being a hardtail. And I think riding a hardtail, it's not just easier to get up hills. You don't, or not so much easy, you get up faster. But I think pedaling a hardtail makes your legs stronger. There's no softness, there's no cushion against your pedal stroke. It's just pure hard, and if it gets harder, it's harder the whole time. So I really liked it. I really liked pushing my legs and getting reward out of it. So a hardtail is definitely a good training tool, for sure, if you want to get fitter up hills and whatnot. And most certainly a good training tool going back down, because holding onto one of these things down those trails is going to make me, when I jump back on my patrol, it's probably going to make me set my bike up slightly differently. Maybe, maybe not. But it's definitely going to give me confidence. It's definitely going to allow me to just plow, which I kind of do anyway, but yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved riding this bike. There's nothing more pure than getting on a hardtail and just trying to rip trails, I don't think. I haven't done it forever. Obviously, like I said, I demoed the Polygon not that long ago, but outside of that Polygon, I haven't ridden a hardtail on dirt. The Polygon had plus tyres as well, so something to think about. The plus tyres definitely changed the way a bike feels, and I can't hit a corner as hard on a plus tyre as I can on a normal tyre. No way. No, there's just too much. There's too much movement under the tyre, and if you run them too stiff, they just bounce off everything. So, proper size tyres, so good, absolutely so good. Now, Banshee talk about this alloy having a steel feel. I haven't ridden many steel bikes outside of my dirt jumper, so I can't really comment on that, to be honest. But what I can say is, with a 27.5, it didn't feel harsh at all. It felt like I could absorb all of the hits. I could steer the bike while it was still being hit. It wasn't 29er, it was harder. It was much harder to steer the bike while it was being hit. With a 27, I could literally point it anywhere, deal with it when it got out of control a little bit, and just almost point and shoot. Almost point and shoot. Flat pedals. You definitely, if you're going to ride a hardtail down rowdy terrain, you're going to either really get good on flat pedals or you're going to want clips. So you do get bounced around a bit, but I didn't have any problems. I only slipped a foot once the whole time I was demoing it, and literally no big deal. I didn't care at all. If it was my bike, I'm not sure whether I'd go 27.5 front and rear or just the rear, but I definitely wouldn't go full 29er. If you're going to get it and do a lot of cross country and a lot of long rides, a little bit less aggressive, then you're going to love the 29. If your trails are flatter, you're going to love it in a full 29 because it shreds. It's fast, it's nimble, it's easy to pedal up hills, it's easy to get up to speed, and it holds speed regardless of what you go through. And yeah, I think it's gangster. But for me, 27.5 in the rear. I'm not going to mess around with a 29er rear. I will keep demoing them. I will keep demoing full 29ers until I find something that feels like it works front and back. But yeah, what else can I say about this thing? Build quality wise, I've only had it for a week. Everything's strong as hell. None of the bolts came loose. Nothing's rattling or making noise. I put a heap of frame tape on it to protect it. The finish is killer. So frame only, if you were to buy one, is $1,300, which is, I'm assuming that's pretty good value, or around, you know, pretty well across the board. Would I buy one? I reckon I would. Hey, honestly, it's hard to say that I wouldn't. I'm not gonna buy one yet, obviously. I want to ride a steel hardtail now. I want to see what the actual difference is between an alloy hardtail that's been built to feel like steel and a steel hardtail that's built for obviously similar numbers. 65-degree head angle, 76.25-degree seat angle in this large. I don't know if I mentioned the reach yet. 475 reach, so too big. I did mention the reach, yeah, sorry. 1227 wheelbase. I'd probably max out at a 1215, maybe a 1220 wheelbase. The pikes felt killer, debonair. Assegai at the front, it's cool. 29er max Terra, so I can't really compare it to my 27.5 max grip DHF. It's not apples for apples, so I won't compare them. But I will say I liked it. I definitely liked it. It didn't feel sluggish, and I am going to try one on my bike, obviously. So that was killer. Had just the standard DHR2 on the back, which was all right. But I have got absolutely no, apart from the 29er back wheel. I was going to say I've got no negatives to say about this bike, but I do. I don't like a 29er at the back. So if you can ignore that, what a weapon, what a weapon. And I think it comes through on the helmet cams that I did. You can definitely tell I'm having fun on this thing, and it's probably the most fun I've had on a bike for a little while. In fact, it's probably the most fun I had on the bike since I put the Orbea Rallon into mullet mode. That was a lot of fun, and I think it was more fun because it was surprising that it made so much difference. So if you're riding a 29er out there, don't be scared, homie. Put a 27.5 in the back, and let me know what you think. You might think it's terrible. You might think I'm tripping, and you know, I got to get my life together and ride a grown-up bike at full 29er. But anyway, code brakes, 180, strong as an ox. The bike is wicked. The build is wicked for $4 grand. Suss it out. Hit up Rushy if you're keen. Otherwise, holler at me if you've got a steel hardtail and you wouldn't mind me giving it a thrash. So I'm intrigued about hardtails now. I'm very, very, very excited to ride some more. Hit me up. Any questions, let me know. This seat was terrible. I kind of got used to it, but it's terrible. SDG. So no thanks. I think the fabric seats are okay. The seat that I've got, the Anvil's killer, and the WTB seats seem alright. So yeah, that's it. Just one last thing. Rushy, thank you so much for letting me borrow your bike. I can't believe people give me bikes to do more or less do what I want on. Obviously, I'm not trying to kill them, but it's literally a dream come true. So cheers, thank you very much, Rushy, and thank you to all you guys that lend me things, or even just give me questions to answer and things to think about. You know, second guessing my opinions and whatever. It really gets me thinking. So big ups to everyone, and get out and shred.